Welcome to the Hamilton Buddhist Temple online service. Today we celebrate JSBTC Day and our October Shotsuki Memorial Service. Please note that today's service is being recorded. This allows people who are unable to attend today to watch later. Only the service portion itself will be posted. We are pleased to have Jeff Wilson Sensei from the Toronto Buddhist Church presiding. My name is Chris Hormozes Takeda. I am your Master of Ceremonies for today. The month of October marks the historical beginnings of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism in Canada. On October the 12th, 1905, the first Jodo Shinshu minister arrived in Vancouver from Nishi-Hongwanji, our mother temple in Kyoto, Japan. The Hamilton Buddhist Temple had its origins in 1948 when the Hamilton Bukyokai bought a family house at 44 Strathern Street East. This house became the first Hamilton Buddhist Church. In Canada, JSBTC Day allows us to express our gratitude to the pioneers and past members who are active in the propagation of Buddhism. The Hamilton Buddhist Temple would like to express our deep appreciation to the JSBTC Board of Directors, ministers, assistant ministers, temple boards members, and others for attending and other attendees for keeping our temple active and accessible during this extremely challenging times. Please join us in Makso.
All right, everyone, I'm going to ring the bell once, and then we will settle back into ourselves, into our breaths, try to settle our mind, and take some breaths together as we prepare ourselves for the rest of the service. Let's place our hands together in Gasho. Say the Nimbutsu together. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Okay, hopefully I'm unmuted. Please join me in reciting the Shin Buddhist life principles. In trusting in the vow of the Buddha, calling out the Buddha's sacred name, I will pass through the journey of life with strength and joy. Revering the light of the Buddha, reflecting upon my imperfect self, I will strive to live a life of gratitude. Following the teachings of the Buddha, discerning the right path, I will share the true Dharma with all. Rejoicing in the compassion of the Buddha, respecting and aiding all sentient beings, I will work towards the welfare of society and the world. Namo Butsu, Namo Butsu, Namo Butsu. This month's Shotsuki service will remember the following who have passed away in October. Daniel Yuasa, Nobuko Shibata, Nui Horibe, Joan Nakano, Sadeo Shibata, Kaichi Tabata, Kazu Keno, Fujino Morimoto, Misawa Takeda, Kenji Ishii, Sentaro Kitamura, and Joji Omatsu.
We're now going to begin our chanting. First, we will have Sambujo the 3 respectful callings to Amida Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, and all the Buddhas throughout the universe. Following that, we will do the Sutra Junidai. Eishu Tennin Shokugyo Amida Sendo Zokuson Zai mi me andako Muryo Bushi Shu Inu じき心情如せのシャマタ行如造部両目上脈小蓮華古が将来未来尊面前炎上如満月以降有如千日月小如天空くしら古が将来未来尊観音頂戴观中寿主寿名相法諸言のぶくげどまけうまんこが将来未来尊無微無空故障上修徳経血女国小さり薬徳自在古が将来未来尊自法名門菩薩衆無量小魔女三段一生修上願力中古が将来未来尊根体保険知諸経前言症状名大座おひざ上如せの古が将来未来尊ちぽ将来勝負し権限人図し安大戦後尊厳上苦行古が将来未来尊小無常無我と薬如水月伝よろ一種聖法無明人古が将来未来尊非尊仏説無悪名薬無女人悪道不主任死心拒否尊 거가 초라이 미다손 이손 무료 호벤교 무쇼슈 아크치식 어조후다이 시보다이 거가 조라이 미다손 가세츠 히손 그도크지 슈젠 무헨 요가이스이 쇼격그젠 곤쇼조샤 에세슈 조 쇼히고 나만다브 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 가니시크도크 요도세 이사이 노보다이신 오조 안다. 나무 아미르 부츠. 나무 아미르 부츠. 나무 아미르 부츠. 나만다 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 부츠. 나만다 나만다. Okay, thank you, everyone. It's very nice to be here with you virtually. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. We have a lot going on this weekend. We have a JSBTC day. It's Shotsuki, of course, and we have Thanksgiving weekend. So there's a whole lot going on. I hope that you're able to spend Thanksgiving safely and happily with your family this year after all the disruptions that we've had. I'm thankful that we're able to have these Zoom services because actually I apparently came down with COVID last night. So if my chanting is maybe not up to snuff, I don't know. I'll blame it on that. If we were in person, I wouldn't be able to share this service with you this morning. So this is one way in which these newfangled technologies that we've all gotten used to are certainly allowing us to be together in the Dharma. And so I'm quite grateful for this opportunity, even under these conditions. You've probably heard me say before that Thanksgiving is the most Jodo Shinshu of all holidays. You know, it can be hard to draw a connection between some holidays and Jodo Shinshu, like Easter. Can't really find much purchase there. Christmas, I'm not so sure. But Thanksgiving, yeah, this one's a winner for sure, right? Giving thanks. This is the essence of Jodo Shinshu as a specific, major, important type of Buddhism, right? That's what we're doing when we say the Nimbutsu. When we say Namo Amida Butsu, we are giving thanks. In other forms of Buddhism, Nimbutsu is used as a prayer or as a ticket to try to get into the Pure Land. But that's not how it's used in Jodo Shinshu. Shindan, the founder of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, he taught that Nimbutsu is not a prayer. It's not a way to create good karma. It's a way of saying thank you for the liberation from suffering that Amida Buddha has already achieved on our behalf. So Nimbutsu, for us, it's about saying thank you for all that supports our lives and our awakening. In order to say thank you, of course, first we have to become aware that we've received some sort of benefits. And hopefully we're naturally aware and naturally thankful. But are we really like that? Let's be honest. I'm probably not. You can assess yourselves, but if you're anything like me, the answer is probably not all that often, right? So, sometimes we notice that someone did something nice for us, and then we say, oh, thank you, in that case, right? But most of the time, we're pretty distracted or we're pretty self-focused, and we don't notice the many, many ways that we're being benefited by others all of the time, at all times, really. My wife, Kristen, she's getting ready to go for a ladies' vacation later this week. And so because I'm apparently an infectious swamp at this point, she's hiding in the basement with the door closed, wearing a mask and so on. So because she wants to go on that vacation with the other ladies at the end of this coming week. She'll be away for about 5 days, I think. And I'm going to be alone with the kids, responsible for everything. So, if it's a good thing that I'm getting sick now because I can get over it in time for that, because taking care of those lovely young people surely would have driven me sick by the end of that anyways. So anyways, I've started to think about that upcoming situation. And of course, then I start to notice how much work that she does for me and does for us all the time, right? Because I start planning, oh, she won't be here. I'm going to have to do this. Oh, I'm going to have to do that. Oh, I'm going to have to do this other thing. Oh, wait. I quit it pretty quickly. I run out of fingers on this, actually. Normally, I don't necessarily notice all of this. In fact, frankly, I probably took a lot of it for granted, right? But now that I'm going to have to do all the cooking and all the cleaning and all the child management and everything, suddenly I'm much more aware than normal. Does that make me thankful? Well, right now it makes me kind of panicky, to be honest. But I wonder, does she really have to go on this vacation at all? And even the very worst thought, here I can prove my lack of enlightenment. I had a fleeting thought this moment. Well, if she does get sick, then I guess she won't go and she'll still be here. Don't tell her I said that. Don't tell her I thought that. Okay. No, you don't know. I'm going to erase that part of the video. Nobody knows that happened. Right. Okay. So this is what we're really like, right? Even as I'm like supposed to, I'm thinking of how, oh, I'm so benefited. And then I'm like, how can I keep getting those benefits? Right? Oh, it's awful, right? This is why I can't do Zen or anything else like that. Some sort of self-improvement Buddhism, I would flunk right out of. I need the Buddhism that says that just as awful as you are, still you're embraced by the Buddha's compassion. So, in actuality, when I do think about how much she does, I know she really deserves this vacation, actually, right? And I think, that becoming aware of how much she benefits me, it does make me more thankful, actually. And of course, I'm going to be especially thankful when she returns and goes back to benefiting me. But hopefully I'll be very thankful and say thank you to her a lot more in the lead up to this and afterwards as well, right? And hopefully I'll keep that in mind. So recently I learned about another practice around awareness and thankfulness, which I wanted to share with you this morning. Some of you probably know Reverend Fred Ulrich, the retired minister at the Manitoba Buddhist Temple in Winnipeg, right? Well, Fred Sensei, he has a deep spiritual connection with trees, and he's worked to help others to become aware of our interconnection with trees. This is part of his sort of life ministry. And for years, he would actually take groups from the temple into the parks there in Winnipeg and meditate with the trees. They'd walk back and forth between the trees, and sometimes they would kneel and they would press up against the trees, like put their hands against the trunk, put their forehead against the trunk, scooch their knees right up against it and everything. And Fred Sensei would teach them to visualize the roots of the tree underground and how those roots were linked with all the other trees. And then so that kind of spread out as a network supporting the entire city, right? And then he would say to them, as you breathe in and as you breathe out, then in your mind, follow those roots outward to the trunk, to the branches, to the leaves, and then spreading out, supporting this whole city in this way, right? And of course, as he and the meditators would breathe out, they would breathe out carbon dioxide, right? Which then the trees right there would breathe in. They breathe carbon dioxide, and they would breathe out oxygen for us. And that they, so there's a cyclical thing, the cycle going on as they meditated together. So by meditating with the trees, it was like the trees are also meditating. We're also breathing with them in this way. And he described this to me as forming bonds with trees as living beings, as one living being to another. In fact, he called this a breathing oneness with the trees. So what was he doing in this meditation exercise with these other people here? Well, he was demonstrating the Buddhist teaching of interdependence in a very practical, very immediate, very experiential way. Our lives depend on trees. We can't survive without trees and plants, right? Their existence is constantly supporting our lives at every moment. Yet we rarely think about them, right? We don't walk down the street going, oh, thank you, oh, thank you, thank you, as you pass the trees, they're planted by the road. We don't say thank you or even think about them at all, right? But we couldn't survive without them. They're constantly supporting our lives at every moment. And since we don't think about them, we don't thank them. And actually, we commit actions that damage trees and other parts of our natural environment. So there's a direct line between our lack of awareness of the ways in which we are being benefited that then doesn't lead us to feel grateful and doesn't cause us to check our behaviors and act in ways that support these other beings that are in fact vital for our own existence, right? But when we become conscious of the interdependent support that trees are always providing to us, then our hearts and our minds open and gratitude can come tumbling out. So this was a very practical way in which he was teaching Buddhism, teaching appreciation for the living environment that we are existing in. He wasn't being didactic or anything. He just went out there and did it with people. They were just doing Buddhism instead of teaching about Buddhism. And very naturally, people came to have these feelings and have this sort of awareness. So I think maybe this Thanksgiving, I might ask you to please take some time to really reflect on all the ways that your life is supported by others. Maybe try to notice how we receive support from family, from friends, from neighbors, from coworkers, from strangers, right? And think about how we're benefited by farmers and construction workers, by doctors and nurses and teachers and care providers and frontline service workers, and so many more. This web of interdependence that we exist in is incredibly vast and really infinite. Maybe we can remember that we're supported by trees and plants and animals, and by clouds and wind and soil and sky. Without any one of these things, we would not be able to continue. So we need all of these things with us, and all of these are things that hopefully we may feel grateful for. And as we feel grateful this weekend, and maybe in the future too, I hope that maybe you'll please try to actually express your thanks. maybe it would feel awkward, but see if you can actually say thank you to as many people as possible. Like maybe try to give yourself a challenge for Thanksgiving weekend. How many people can you express your gratitude towards? Like a competition, maybe we'll meet back in a month and find out who won, who said thank you to the most number of people, right? Try to say it to the people around you for real, right? And text or call people who are further away. And, it can be very short, but just saying thank you is a really wonderful thing, right? If you feel so inclined, you can even open up the window and say thank you to the trees if you feel that way, right? And also, please try to say the Nimbutsu with gratitude as well this weekend. It's the Buddha's teachings that prompt us to realize how interconnected and how supported we really are. So let's put our hands together now and say the Nimbutsu in Thanksgiving for the wisdom of those teachings and for the Buddha's compassion that embraces and liberates each one of us just as we are. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. It's a little bit shorter Dharma talk today. I apologize, but due to the COVID, I'm not at 100%. So hopefully, though, this message will come through and offer you something here on this special weekend. Thank you, everyone, for your attention.
Thank you, Sensei. That was so we're so fortunate to be Canadian and have our group of friends here with us today. We're thankful for so many things. I'm looking out my mother-in-law's window at this beautiful escarpment of trees changing color right now. It's gorgeous. I wish I could post the picture for you. So I'm thanking the trees right now. And certainly be thankful to your wife. You'll appreciate her more when she's gone. Hopefully she can make it. So on saying all that, on behalf of the Buddhist Temple, we would like to thank Jeff Sensei for today's Dharma talk, the Toronto Buddhist Church for supporting our temple and for providing us with Jeff Sensei's services. Okay, donations for the JSBTC Day are greatly appreciated. If you can make a note when you do make the donations, these donations go towards the health and education of our ministers and to support the work of the bishop. Next service will be Sunday, November 13th at 11 a.m. This brings the formal portion of our service to a close. Please put your hands together in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Snatna, snatna, snatna. Thank you, everyone.